It's game day, ladies and gents. We are going to find out who our fourth and final European team will be going through into DreamHack Austin. It's going to be Godsent up against Vega Squadron. Myself, Mattis, and Dus will be taking you through these three best of threes today. And we have started things off with the bangers. Lakpro and Disco, Doppler and Schneider have all came in for frags, looking like a pretty comfortable pistol round right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, Schneider just takes it through Monster, right? Just no fear at all. Easy kill there for him, and everyone else seems to be falling apart across the map as well. Only Mir left, the star player, I would say, of this Vega Squadron team. But yeah, not too much for him to live for. But yeah, this is going to be a cool qualifier because obviously Godsent's kind of come full circle with their roster, right? I mean, they pretty much had the same lineup that they had early 2016. The only difference is they have Disco Doppler instead of Palf, right? And they had some success last year with this core 4 at some of the DreamHack events. So it's about trying to get back to that stage and still prove that they're one of the, top teams in the world, trying to, get back into those rankings. And then Vega Squadron's obviously the team that's like the one-hit wonder, right? They did the great at the E-League major qualifier, but what else can they really do? So it's a great opportunity for both teams, and that's a nice shot from Twist.
Damn, Twist. Settle down. Yeah, absolutely. Vega Squadron maybe have a few points to prove. Were they just that one-hit wonder? Were they just a case of coming in, causing quite the surprise against Nip, and then fading back into obscurity again? They didn't have the greatest performance at Leipzig, so they will be out for blood here. See if they can get themselves across to Austin. Right off the bat, though, 1-for-1. Twist does get the opening pick, then goes down afterwards to the hands of Vega Squadron. Just 3 pistols and a scout. The scout, of course, was Twist. Hutchie has that for himself now. And it would appear that for the time being, the Russians are happy and content to just wait back around the A side. Of course, the great thing about Overpass, you have Connector, you can quickly wrap yourselves to B, and it only takes a few seconds to do so. Down goes JR.
Yeah, Disco Doppler's going to be able to catch that, and so now the commitment really does seem to be here in Bathrooms and Long A. And there is 3 players positioned here for Godsent, just Pronax left over here at B. Schneider just playing the smoke, throwing some span down. Actually, there is a gap there, so he's able to get a little bit of information. But that bomb is tucking away into the bathrooms. And yeah, it just doesn't seem like they really have much they can do at this point. They're just kind of stuck.
Yeah, they only have a Tech 9 and a Scout to try and burst out with on the long side. 20 seconds in which to utilize this aggression. Hutchie down to 12 health. Tech 9 not going to do too much. Now Hutchie, extra fall from Schneider's UMP. Only Twist falling. A decent recovery by Godsent. Wasn't looking too good to start the round off. But a 2-0 with Vega Squadron into an eco.
Yeah, so you're not really expecting too much in a round like this. I mean, their forced by opportunity was in the previous round. Didn't really amount to much. So in this one, you'd expect them just to... Well, it looks like they're going to take an absolutely full save. Just Glocks. No utility. Not even a P250 on the board. So this should be a pretty quick mop-up, especially given the aggression Godsent's putting here at the fountain.
I certainly think this should be a flawless round. For Godsent, would be a mistake if they lost any weapons from this point, but just for one block. Twist is going to get hyper-aggressed on the close range of Mia. Disco Doppler's there, though. The body system in effect. And the last player will be JR. Down he goes. Twist surviving with 10. Full house of kills. 3 with Twist, 2 with Disco Doppler. 3-0 as expected. But here comes the first rifle round, and it will include an AWP.
Yeah, JR, the normal opera for Vega Squadron, going to have it right away. And obviously the big people to keep eyes on for me are Mir and Chopper. Those seem to be the 2 rifles that usually put up the numbers for this team. Also, from watching Vega play in the past, they're definitely a very aggressive team. A lot of fast-paced play, but you can see Godsent's been, so far this game, really willing to kind of push the issue and get aggressive positioning early on. Look at this particular round. They have 4 players towards A, 1 in stairs, 2 above the stairs, and Disco deep in the bathrooms, just leaving Pronax playing solo short B. So they just have a massive presence across the map, and they're getting decent trades so far. It's been evened out by Vega.
Yeah, it was looking good for Godsent there. Underarm Taichi bouncing off the wall, wrecking JR down to 50. They did manage to clean up on those kills, but elsewhere on the map, Vega have struck. 3-on-3, 1 minute 10 to play with bomb still not under control. Vega, Schneider walks out and gets caught completely unawares by Hutchie, as free a kill as he could ask for. Twist could be following suit. No, he will just about survive. And now it's Disco Doppler's turn to walk out in the wilderness and get punished. An odd round to say the least, but Godsent are going to go down. Mia taking out Twist. Vega Squadron do get their first round on the board, but Godsent right back into another bite.
Yeah, just really well handled by Vega Squadron there to pick up on that aggression from Godsent across the map and be able to trade efficiently into it. Then is going to go ahead and net them a round win, and so this is going to be Godsent having to tap into their wallets a little bit earlier than they probably hoped, but they do have the opportunity to perhaps reset Vega Squadron's economy if they're able to pull this one back. And you see that there's definitely a big difference here. A lot of personnel over towards the B-bomb site here. Prodex again got a little bit aggressive there at short, but gets pushed back by a Molotov, and now he's just kind of jumping over, just trying to see if anyone's in short B, but JR's already gotten pretty deep into the pocket, so I'm not sure if he's really going to be spotted, but certainly seems like Vega are slowing things down a bit. While they have control of short B, they're just kind of letting Kashander be kind of a pro over here towards middle, and just kind of slowly working control of bathrooms and such, so this seems to be about as default as it gets, but a boost could come in and kind of change things.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see the Vega Squadron as well. They don't want to make sure they make the most of that previous round win. If they lose this comfortably, then last round was all for naught. They're going to reset their round loss bonus. They'll be in a pretty sticky situation. And Twist is going to take the first kill into Mia up on the long side of A. Using that AWP to devastatingly strong effect. There's a free kill as well. 100 health is maintained. JR going to be waiting. It does appear they're looking for some kind of a boost, but Chopper's not interested for the time being.
Yeah, not at all, as we are starting to get to the late round period of this, and the bomb's actually still all the way back over towards T-spawn, but Chopper is going to pick it up now, and he doesn't really have a whole lot of time to mess around. He has to kind of make a decision where he wants to bring it. It looks like it is going to be the A side, but there's really no presence at A just yet, and Disco Doplin's still pressed up aggressively here on Bathroom, so he could really disrupt things. JR trying to throw a bit of a fake over here towards B with some utility, but Disco is watching what's going on. He's delivering the frags.
It's going to be tough now for Vega to get anything from this round, but they are going to push regardless. Are they going to die before time is the question. How many kills can Chopper inflict beforehand? He's looking to push on the site. He does die 2 seconds before the end of the round, so that's a small bonus, if you will, but Vega still will have nothing in this. And they can't even justify a force buy. Now, if Godsent lose 4 weapons, maybe they think about it. They lost 1, so this is going to be a full-on eco.
Yeah, I mean, they just really didn't get anything done there. You know, Twist with the initial pick, Disco Doplin able to read things over there at middle, get a couple of frags, really just kind of killed the clock on Vega Squadron, so they are just going to be on upgraded pistols here on a couple of players. This the P250s on Kashander and Hutchie. Looks like they are, again, just trying to get quick control of short B and try to make a play up the sandbags, but an incendiary will slow them down. But it seems to be that they want to split this B bomb side as the bomb is tucked in outside a monster, but Disco going to be in a quick flank position here at stairs. Already has done a little bit of damage as well to JR.
Yeah, taking a few love taps. Bombs will be coming through Monster. Unfortunately for Vega Squadron, there are 2 CTs laid in wait. This is going to be a bloodbath lining up for Lekro, and he will dispatch with 4 headshots in the round. Can't get too excited. It was a full-on eco, but still, can only beat what's ahead of you, and Lekro certainly did just that. And Vega in this round, Dust still not in a great situation. We've got 3 players mid to high 3000s. They could go for a force, but it would be at the lack of nades. That's why Chopper's gone for a UMP instead.
The UMP is nuts.
It can
for
be
free
nuts,
UMetis.
for sure. Oh man.
I know that you have a little bit of a sore spot for the UMP, but definitely a powerful weapon. But here is Vega Squadron picking up the pace. They're going to rush through Monster, getting some damage from that incendiary, but they still do get the entry. And Pronax was actually soloing B this round. It was one of those kind of 1-4 aggressive A setups from Godsent, so they get completely countered by a B rush, basically. The bomb is going to go down. It's making its way in the site now. But Godsent, they'd still have a fair amount of utility to go for a retake here. And there's not so much on Vega Squadron, so they still could crack this one open.
It did surprise me somewhat that Godsent, truly realizing the economic situation, would be half expecting some kind of a rush on B. Vega haven't really done it so far. They have a distinct lack of utility, but Disco, Ian's going to go and take down Chopper. This is where the lack of nades is going to start to hurt Vega now. On the retake, they have no smokes, no flashes to fend off this onslaught, and they are going to be dropping 1 by 1. Schneider coming up through heaven, finally lands his mark. The Hutchie's there as well. Lekro from the side will take him out, leaving it on a 1 and 3. Kashander from the shadows of Monster will strike for the first kill. The bomb's not planted for him, and Twist's going to hold on it. 6-1.
Wow. Yeah, you wonder how much different that would have been if the bomb was planted at the default position. Maybe Kashander had the chance to actually shut that thing down, but the way it was planted, he just didn't have any vision on that last player. Just a good retake there from Godsent across the board, being able to get picks through Monster and short B. Even though it was just like a gap in the smoke in the window, it seemed like that they were able to kind of get a cheeky frag through, so that helped out a lot as well. And so, yeah, Vega Squadron now have to basically do more with less. I mean, they have a couple of Galeals. Chopper only on a Deagle. He's already down halfway trying to run through that fire, try to catch one off guard. Not going to work, Lekro. Going to put him down. So, rotation already coming in for Godsent, and it looks like Vega Squadron have really no stake in this round.
Just struggled to get moving, really, so far. Pronak's going to be good for the 1 kill. Has to hide behind the barrels as well. Lekro is worth his weight in gold, and he comes through for the kills. If Pronax is by himself, things would have got really sketchy there, but a solid crossfire established. Vega will have probably Deagles and not too much else from this round. They have nearly full round loss bonus coming up, though. The next round will be a solid buy, but for the time being, they are being shreked.
Yeah, I mean, they've made a couple of decisions to do a little bit of force buying, particularly in that last round. They're just trying to get some Galeals forced out, and it just didn't work out. And so now they have to work with even less than the previous round. So just 3 Deagles. No utility, head armor on Chopper, that's going to be it. Again, aggression from Godsent across the map, but once again, they're really favoring this 1-4A setup, where they kind of put 3 through middle, 1 through long A, and they kind of just let Pronax play passively at B. He did get caught out last round, didn't wind up mattering. This round, though, it's just Godsent cleaning up.
Should just be another day at the office for Godsent in this round, at the very least. Chopper trying to inflict as much damage as possible, missing out on the opportunities. That's going to get himself a death. And now Mia, who was skirting around the outsides of B with the point-blank range spray, Schneider will take us to 8-1. And for those of you interested, the maps are Overpass, Train, and Mirage. So, of course, it's the first of the potential 3 maps. We have 3 best of 3s coming at you here from the official English stream. And again, there will be 1 team that qualifies to go to DreamHack Austin.
Which has a sick lineup, by the way. I mean, you got Heroic just off that top 4 Katowice finish going to be there. The dubbed French super team, G2, is going to be playing one of their first LAN tournaments there as well. You have Immortals, you know, that's kind of one of the big Brazilian names in the North American scene that you know, made a big roster move recently. So there's a lot of great teams in that lineup, and even more Gambits coming over, so it's going to be fun stuff. But in this round, Vega Squadron is finally making some headway. They actually have complete control of the B bomb site, and they just cleared out long A as well. At this point, all their options are open.
Quite the reverse of fortune from how the previous rounds have gone, but Schneider is going to remain in the round for a few more seconds before Hutchie will find him and take him out. Lekro, 1-on-4 scenario. The funds in a very solid position for Godsent. Don't have to worry about ecoing or even necessarily saving this weapon. But of course, you don't want to throw away this 6k equipment value unless you absolutely have to. So Lekro is going to play this one slow and maybe get some exit frags as well, which is pretty hurt Vega Squadron considering they didn't reset their loss bonus. We saw what happened last time. They got instantly annihilated. They've got to keep the momentum coming up because even though this is a CT-sided map, in my opinion, Vega Squadron certainly will be picking up 5+ rounds in this half.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely in one of those situations where things could go really rough for them if they aren't able to string some rounds together in a row. You know, they've already had their economy reset once this half. That set them back big time. They had to do a couple of forced buys, and that really did put them in a bad way. And if they get their economy reset here again, I mean, that's just Godsent putting up like one of those dominant CT sides on Overpass that can be come back from. We know this is probably one of the more CT-sided maps in the rotation, but as you noted, you got to give yourself a chance on the T side. You got to be able to string together at least a few rounds to, you know, give yourself some type of platform to play from. And right now, Vega trying to see if they can't piece that together. It's not too late. They can win a couple of more rounds here. They'll eventually get Godsent saving, and that's when they'll have a chance to actually make a close game. But we're a little bit off from that, as they're going to open up pretty default here, but we could see a skirmish in the connector here pretty soon.
That flash on point lands in the eyes of JR and Kushanda. Couldn't push any further. Schneider will be coming down into the embracing arms of JR, who will not miss the mark. And Schneider's done that a few times now, maybe getting predictable. Between him and Lekro, they have 26 kills. The two of them have been firing on all cylinders. But as it stands in this round, the 11th, Godsent are a player behind, and it could become 2. Although Mir is going to whiff the opportunity, giving Disco Doppler the chance to fire back 3-on-3 with just over a minute to play with.
Yeah, kind of a crazy exchange taking place over there towards middle. Disco Doppler and Pronax actually pushing together at long. They might have a little bit of a bait and switch setup here, but no, Disco Doppler will just take the peak head on. Chopper will cut him off. So This is great stuff. The only thing that could work here is that Pronax could be the snake in the grass. They may not check that corner. He might be able to do something, but it looks like they're going to clear it from middle before Long A ever presses through with the bomb. So this is not looking good for Godsent.
JR does land the shot, although the smoke was slightly awry. Pronax is going to use his to try and buy himself up some time. In doing so, though, going to take so much damage through the smoke, and Kishanda will finish when he starts. So Vega will not get reset this time around, but herein lays the beauty of winning so many rounds back-to-back for Godsent. They can buy yet again, and it will include at least one up for Twist. Do they go for a double one? I doubt that's going to be the case. I mean, Disco Doppelin could afford, but he's going to go for the M4 instead. So standard setup for both teams.
Yeah, that was just a bit unfortunate that the smoke Pronax threw had a bit of a gap in it, so they were able to see him cross over towards the site. Made things a little bit easier, but here it is again, Vega Squadron showing us those roots of aggression, just pushing through Monster right away. Pronax just blindsided.
Nobody seemingly watching Monster there. What is that by Godsent? You're just giving up real estate on B, and it's not the first time that we've seen this. Although they've started well, I've seen so many times how fickle and how brutal a mistress CS can be. Things can turn around very quickly indeed. JR on 4 health, but the bomb will get planted. Godsent smoked out of position for the time being, with Molly's also connecting. Do they even go for this retake? There's almost no chance they get this done. Albeit with JR and Kishanda low, it's a pretty rough site to retake. And it's going to get a whole lot harder as the 4 HP is still going to speak volumes. Disco Doppelin dispatched of. And now Twist and Schneider trying to save. They're just shy of 13k equipment value for the CTs to take into the next round. Vega Squadron will get a 3rd in a row.
Yeah, again, Godsent's really been favoring these heavy A setups, which can be good because, again, you control middle, you have control of connector as well. It makes it easier to be able to rotate and set up for retakes, but obviously every setup does have its cons as well, and one of them is how vulnerable B can be, which is why Pronax, I don't know, like, sometimes he's played it correctly, where he's played towards graffiti and he's just kind of stayed alive and he's let people be able to push through and flank Monster and flank short B and just have really good retake approaches. But then there's been rounds like that one where he does just kind of get caught in awkward space and he goes down just like a free 5-on-4 post plant for Vega. And they even got a second kill on the Lecro that round as well. And Godsent's war chest is starting to run out here. They do have a full buy in this round, but at some point, if Vega can keep doing this, they're eventually going to have to take a save. That's where Vega can finally break them, but Disco trying his best to avoid that. Does get a pick, and he plays it well, just backing off, not trying to, you know, work that advantage too heavily, not trying to get greedy.
As you highlighted, though, the funds depleting and JR's patience will pay off. Twist probably face-palming at this point, getting a bit salty. JR was sat there for a good while, and Almir comes through, takes down 2 frags onto both Lecro and Disco. Seems to shake off the cobwebs that we saw just previously on Long, where he whiffed the opportunity from the backside. Now Godsent in the very real possibility of an eco on the horizon. Vega Squadron, who've seen doom and gloom, bounce back with a vengeance. Pronax and Schneider, last 2 CTs. Can Pronax tee off and pull off a master play? That's pretty much all that can save Godsent at this stage. M4A1S doesn't even have the extra 10 bullets to spray with. Is precision going to be on point? No, he gets headshot instantly. And Chopper will give Vega Squadron the round. Schneider wants no part of this.
Yeah, saving that M4 armor and kit, as well as an incendiary, is definitely worthwhile. Especially given the fact that the money for Godsent is certainly getting low. But if he can save it, it's going to be the big question, because he's getting pinched off by Mir. I don't even think he realizes it. Yeah, not going to be able to win that duel, so nothing saved. Vega have now won 4 rounds in a row, and they finally whittled away Godsent's economy. And so they're looking really good. I mean, this has been a big turn of events in this game, because for a while there it seemed like Godsent was just kind of curb stomping Vega Squadron all across the map, but now there's a little bit of something coming from them.
It certainly has been, a game of 2 quarters so far on this CT side. We saw the dominance of Godsent take an 8-1 lead, and then since then things have seemed to have somewhat crumbled into obscurity. Lecro's the first to fall. Vega Squadron shifting through the gears, started slowly, but it's how you finish that really counts for Counter-Strike. Pronax is going to get completely destroyed by Hutchie's AK. And Godsent, who came into this round with somewhat of a half buy, not going to pay off for them. Vega Squadron will be favourites to take a 6th round. And although Disco Doppelin hiding on Graffiti may be able to get the kill on Hutchie, There's not much else that you're expecting to see happen here from the Swedes.
Yeah, not too much for this round. And Disco does have a kit, armor, and a 5.7, and he did just pick up an AK. But it looks like he'll probably just try to hold on to that for the next round, make things a little bit easier on them, trying to get some type of buy going, as they have hit max loss bonus, and Disco's going to be able to save an AK, so should be able to get a decent buy coming out in the final round, as of course you'll buy all that you can last round of the half. So yeah, definitely a good turn of events here for Vega Squadron. It was starting to look a little bit grim, but they've definitely picked it up here these last 5 rounds. They've done a lot better at countering Godsent's aggression across the map, would probably be the biggest thing, and they've been able to exploit B situations where Godsent have had like a heavier A setup, particularly catching out Pronax and not really allowing Godsent to stage up retakes as well as they were earlier in the half. So definitely some good, I don't know if you would really just call it adjustments or if it's just more of Vega starting to win more duels across the map. Seems to be the case.
Yeah, I think one of the main issues for Godsent is that Schneider, who was having so much joy in Connector earlier on, getting kills left, right, and center, just got countered completely. Now he's no longer going there. I mean, he hasn't been there for a good few rounds now. And in doing so, Vega Squadron able to get the quick rotations whenever they so choose. We've seen as well that Godsent have had a real issue on the B side. 2 or 3 times getting caught out from Monster, just pure pushes.
Yeah, JR also caught an op pick through Monster as well on Lecro's aggression. They've been able to move JR's op around a good bit. We've seen him all across the map looking for picks, so always good when you can have a mobile opper where CTs can't always anticipate where it's going to be coming from. I think that's definitely been big. It's also a tight frag distribution for Vega Squadron. Their top fragger has 8 kills, their bottom fragger has 6. Well, JR now makes it 9. So they have a quick 5-on-4, and that's the B-bomb site taken once again.
And again, just going back to what you're saying, the trade's going the way of Vega Squadron. There's nothing too fancy about this Counter-Strike. They're not really outplaying Godsent strategically. They're just landing the kills where it counts. Twist will get the drop on Hutchie. We'll have that every day of the week and able to back away and survive. So that's a decent trade for Godsent, but still with 40 seconds left, they trailed by a player. And B site ripe for the taking. Pronax is here, but he has to take more of a passive position at the back of Graffiti, just looking over on the pillar side. So Vega will have this bomb planted if they just push straight on, which is looking likely. 2 players now going to be defending this. Disco Dublin coming through with the incendiary. Here comes the spray, but it's Chopper who lands the headshot. Bomb will get planted. No reason to save. Godsent will go for this final round of the half, of course. It will see them at a huge deficit. It's just got a whole lot worse. Twist, 1-on-4 with the AWP. Good luck. In actual fact, he's traded up for the M4. Can he get it done? Decent start. Going to be pop flashing his way out of heaven, but there is no following through on it, and JR has the AWP locked down. Vega, who are trailing 8-1, finished the half 8-7. Quite the comeback in this half.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it was nothing fancy for Vega Squadron. I will say they did a good job of pacing the half. You know, they had a good mixture of just playing default and just working picks, as well as just doing quick rushes on B. So at least they were able to kind of, I don't know, like, you know, do just faster plays whenever they felt necessary. And the big thing was just not letting Godsent bully them. I mean, it felt early on like Godsent's aggression was just overwhelming. They weren't able to really get any map control because, you know, Godsent's just controlling Connector. They're pushing you Fountain. They're not really giving you space. But eventually, you know, the rifles kind of warmed up on Vega. They were able to start winning some of those fights. As you noted, it was just kind of nothing special. Like a lot of just individual duels Vega were winning. I mean, when you send one guy through Monster by himself and he's opening up B solo, which happened a couple of times, there's really nothing there other than you're getting outshot, or you're not playing maybe with each other as well as B as you should be as far as utility goes and playing off of each other. So it seemed like things kind of broke down for Godsent, but we'll see if they can try to maintain their lead, if they can take this pistol round, as we will see them heading pretty heavily towards the A-bomb site.
Not sure what happened there for Chopper. Right off the spawn, he went down to 76. Maybe he dropped down. This is something, I'm a B player on Overpass, I've done this so many times where you drop down on the staircase and you actually like kneecap yourself, you just break your legs on the way out. It's kind of frustrating, but the first kill will go to Vega Squadron. And it was quite the one tap by Mia, who was trying to thread the eye of the needle through. Going to be standing together, Godsent, as a 4-man unit until Schneider decides he wants to be Rambo and breaks off from the rest of the pack. Disco Dublin taking point. It is going to be an A hit for the time being. Of course, they have Connector still at their disposal, but JR is lurking around the back. This is going to get nasty. You have to feel for Godsent. Here's whipping so many bullets. He's going to get punished, but Hutchie stands up from back. They do maintain the player advantage. Now it's got a whole lot better for the CTs as Hutchie, Rex, Pronax, Lecro, 1-on-3, taking damage, and will be finished off. Vega, bring us back to even.
There used to be this reality show or something like that, like How Am I Still Alive? And they should do an episode on Hutchie right there. They really should. I'm not sure how he was able to survive and get himself even more kills. Just standout performance from him in that round. Just some beautiful headshots with the USP. That's actually going to allow Vega Squadron to tie things up and even have the advantage into taking a lead now. As Godsent will be on the 4 spot with Tech 9s. We know how dangerous those can be, but a couple of umps in play here for Vega. They have that M4 on Hutchie. Chopper playing B very passively with an M4. Mir could get caught here, though. This is dangerous for him. But we'll see if he can put that ump to use.
Seems Godsent are going to return the favour on the B side. That flash is perfectly timed, though. Keeps him at bay for a few more seconds. Applies Chopper time, but Twist on the drive-by with one, and nearly a second kill as Disco takes it from under him. Kishanda goes for a total flank round the map, which is going to prove to be fruitful in the sense that he's going to get round the back, but his entire team's already dead. He has no foundations on which to build that flank, and now JR and Mia, completely isolated from one another, have to try and retake this site. But in actual fact, what is happening? It's going to be the rotate onto A. And JR was not expecting that. They thought the bomb would go down on B. Mia now is scratching his head like, what the hell just happened? And he has to come all the way around the back now to retake the A site. What a play from Godsent.
Yeah, I mean, once they were able to push in and get control of Graffiti, they just had that option open to them to run through B. JR did seem to anticipate, he just couldn't get away. You know, he was actually trying to back off and get into the A site, but he just wasn't fast enough, and so Godsent did cut him off, and that's going to be a 9th round now for Godsent, so the 4 spy does work out. The economy reset on the Vega Squadron, but they will still force up all that they can here. They are going to be able to get another ump into JR. They do have a couple of CZs and Deagles out in play. But if this doesn't work out, you're almost in double save territory at that point. That's where Godsent can really start to build up a good lead early on in the second half, as they did in the first half. So this is definitely a little bit of a dice roll for Vega Squadron.
Yeah, this is a go big or go home kind of moment. You have to feel this would set up the T side so nicely for Godsent. JR's taking so much damage, and here's the one wielder of the SMG. Hutchie will get the better of Disco Doppelung, but it is laboured at best. Down to 19. Ooh. What a beautiful one-tap by Chopper, though, and Connector. And Godsent were gaining traction. It's been taken away. Schneider and Twist have to clutch this 2-on-5, pardon me, and they've taken the first player down. This is where Vega Squadron's lack of utility, lack of firepower could be an issue, especially as Mir and JR are so low.
And Schneider and Twist certainly still could pull this one back in. They have plenty of HP. They had the M4s at their disposal, or the AK in Schneider's hands, rather. And like you noted, still do have that utility as well. Just playing it pretty cautiously. They still have a pretty good amount of time left on the clock. That bomb does seem to be swinging around through terrace spawn area to Monster, so it seems like they do want to eventually attack B. It's starting to get towards the late round now. 35 seconds left on the clock, so that bomb's gonna have to commit here pretty soon to B. And they really haven't gained any ground. They haven't really caused Vega to shift at all. Chopper's still holding those barrels. He's the highest health player, and he has the AK. So it kind of comes down on him.
The pressure is going to come down on him, and Twist is going to get the spray. Chopper, in 15 seconds to go, will die. JL way out in the open. I guess trying to neutralize the smoke's power, but I mean, it gets himself killed, and now it looks like this clutch may become a reality. Near UMP is going to get found out. Godsent pull off a 2v5, albeit against weakened Vega Squadron members with pistols and a couple of scrappy assault rifles, but they do get the job done just about, and this is where Vega Squadron's risk is not quite going to pay off. It will be an eco.
Yeah, pretty much a full save here. You will see a couple of P250s in play from Chopper and JR, but this should be Godsent's round. This should be probably the least of a threat they'll face this half in a round like this one. We're going to see a little bit of aggression from Vega Squadron here. Actually, it's just kind of a full A push. I thought there was a couple towards B, but now everyone shuffles here to the A side of the map, as they have already pushed up Party and Fountain, so they have very aggressive positioning here at A, but it could just all be bypassed as that bomb's sitting outside Monster.
Yeah, as soon as you see that stack, the bomb will quickly scamper across to the B side. If he's not already moving there, which it is right now. So Godsent calling this one correctly. They are going to drop the bomb out just outside the monster to make sure if there's a B stack, they're not going to get completely caught unawares. This does allow Pronax to take the bomb himself. And this is where Lekro's position could yield so many kills. It's all on timing. Kishanda, oh, he's about to peek him. Instead, Lekro's going to get the frag onto JR, or at least I thought he would. It's close, but JR actually is still alive, and now Lekro is running out of bullets and potentially running out of health. As down goes the waterfall of counter-terrorists, and Mia will the player to take it out. Fortunately, though, for Godsent, they're not going to be able to get their hands on these AKs, as Twist was keeping guard. Down goes Chopper, 11 to 8.
It was raining men, but there was no hallelujah.
Yeah, it was one of those kind of moments where you're just watching and wincing a little bit.
Yeah, at my casting, obviously, by bringing in the rating mid comment. That's kind of just a commentary on what you were doing as I was saying that, of course. As Vega Squadron will be back onto a full buy, with the exception of Hutchie. He is going to be on the ump, but again, that's not so shabby. Stun definitely can do a lot of damage if wielded by the correct hands. Everyone's from Metasys, apparently.
Top kick. So, Vega Squadron. I was a little bit worried for Godsent because all the trades going the way of Vega Squadron towards the end of that first half didn't necessarily bode well for the T half here. But they started things so well. You know, Vega Squadron not getting that second round after winning the pistol clearly hurt them. And now with a buy, but not a great one. It is a 4-on-4, however, with Pronax pretty low. And Vega able to split off into two formation, 2 players on B nut. Will include Hutchie's UMP, however. Look at Godsent though, Dust. I mean, they're spread all across the map. They're taking their time. Going to poke and probe and see where the weaknesses lay for the CT defense.
Exactly. Twist trying to get a little bit of information on the A-bomb side. He's received a few bullets to the back as he's now down to 48 HP. As you noted earlier, Pronax also has taken some heat here. Disco Doppelin still sitting outside Monster, and they are starting to take control of short B as well. I think Disco did spot one on the right side of Monster, but now I think that was a smoke or something that just came out to kind of block him, or at least some counter nades. So they're trying to slow down Godsent. Godsent doesn't have much time. They have to commit to this pretty soon. There's still a good presence here by Vega.
Oh, that spray, though, is on point by Twist. Going to take down Mia, who is trying to retreat to the back of the site. And now it's down to JR. He comes out into the open. Lekro will have himself a second kill, and Godsent will have themselves a 12th round with Vega Squadron back against the wall. Looking like it's going to be Deagles, not too much else. The Swedes in a great position now.
I mean, just well played by Godsent. You basically had Vega Squadron into a double monster setup, but eventually they were forced to kind of fall off of that. And as they were trying to, you know, get in better position inside the site, that's when you had that push-up sandbags and just kind of cutting that off. So again, Godsent being able to catch Vega Squadron in transition, in awkward space, and secure the round and put Vega once again onto just upgraded pistols. And this time around, they're trying their best to avoid it, but then as soon as I said that, Hutchie able to pick up Schneider. But at least now they know what they're up against.
That's one way that Godsent could potentially lose this round, as Disco will throw away his AK, making sure none of the Vega Squadron members take it down. But if they go one by one into this CZ Eagle purchase, Disco Doppler is able to take down both players on shot. That is certainly going to be a huge body blow for Vega's chances of taking this round, but Chopper again with the Deagle is going to make it sing with the headshot. And Pronax should have the better of him. There's the spray. Final bullet will do the trick. Godsent will have this round, barring a miraculous clutch by JR. And, well, his 5.7. He has absolutely nothing else. It's 5.7 or bust. Looking like it's going to be the 13-8.
Yeah, again, it was one of those rounds where there wasn't so much that Vega had to work with. Yes, sure, a few upgraded pistols. And they did get one pick pretty early on, but good shooting from Disco Doppelin and Pronax there will get them their 13th round, and so they're just a few away from securing the first map in the best of 3. Again, I think you said the other maps were what? Train and
Raj.
So
yep.
Again, I don't really know too much about Godsent's map pool these days with the big roster change. The fact they've only really seen them playing like ESEA Premier and things like that. So not really sure how they sit.
Kind of a similar situation with Vega Squadron. Even though they have been seeing a lot more of the spotlight recently, they're still not a team that we've seen a huge amount of. Obviously, we casted them at Leipzig together. But
yeah, outside of Leipzig in the major qualifier, there's not too much to go on. I mean, sure, they have been trying. They I don't think they were able to do too well in ECS development for this past season. I know they were playing in that. I know that they got knocked out of the Star Ladder qualifiers pretty early as well. But outside of that, like, they're not in EPL. They're not even in like the Mountain Dew League either. So you don't really see them so often, except for some of these qualifiers here and there.
To see if they can turn things around here, as Lekro's gone in for 2 huge kills into Hutchie and Mia. One hell of a way to start things off, as they're looking to skyrocket their way to the finish line. Kishanda's also low, and it would appear that the best form of defense is going to be a strong offense here. JR will land the shot, very nearly lining up for him. Could have been a 2 for the price of 1, but instead, Godsent will manage to scamper away towards that B side. However, Kishanda's going to take connector control, and that could be the linchpin move. As down goes Lekro. Headshots are plenty. Chopper's looking for a second one. Not too far off, but Gishanda's rotation is going to come good as the bomb's been dropped. Godsent, who looks so good to take this round now, find themselves in a 1-on-3. Pronax is going to take the first kill. But are there any more to follow? 40 seconds in which to try and pull the rabbit out the hat. That nade's not quite able to do any damage. Not deep enough over the side of water. Bomb control also goes the way of the CTs, but now Pronax is going to spray down to the Kishanda, who goes walkies. This will now give Pronax a glimmer of hope. JR still should be favourite to take this round, as Pronax is thinking about the potential rotation, and he will start to make a move towards the A side. This now forces JR out into the open. He also has to think about maybe the double mind games coming into effect, and he did second guess himself for 1 second. So Pronax will get the plant with the Molotov as well. This should allow him to relocate. Things are now getting interesting from a round that really Godsent looked like they had no right in being in. Pronax could clutch this, and out comes JR. Pronax has done it. The brains behind the operation will lead by example, 14-8.
Very well played there by Pronax. I mean, you think that round's busted when Kishander makes that flank through connector and catch twist on the side at sandbags, and all things are looking well for Vega at that point. But then Pronax just battling his way through that, being able to push through the short tunnel, get the bomb back, and then you'd really put JR in a tough spot when you're playing a 1v1 with an op, and you don't really have eyes on the bomb anymore, and he could go either way. It's very difficult to deal with. But look at this, JR just trying his damnedest to bring things back right away. Gets very aggressive at connector, does get a kill, but Twist also took down Hutji here as well, so it is evened up at a 4-on-4, but a lot of personnel for Vega already in the B area, and they have control of connector as well. But now that things start to slow down, they do have to worry about the fact that they basically are completely exposed at middle and long A, and that means that JR is going to have to kind of rotating back. But Chopper catching Twist playing solo at Monster there. Look at this aggression from Vega now at short as well.
It seems to me almost like that ravenous animal that you back into a corner and they're going to come out fighting. I like the aggression. A lot of teams kind of go into their shell even more, but Vega are having none of it. The problem is, though, they're losing the trades that count. This round is somewhat different. But how many times have Godsent already clutched this today? That's a huge clutch by Pronax. Changing things in a heartbeat. But it would seem Godsent haven't really stamped their wishes just yet. They're still keeping themselves spread out across the map. Schneider going to be maybe faking onto the A side. He's going to be throwing a nade and pushing behind it as well. That's going to draw out a lot of the intent from the CTs. Kishanda sprays him down, but the bomb is actually heading to B. This is what it was all about for Schneider. 20 seconds. Godsent, every second they waste here is another second that a rotation could come through from Vega and completely neutralize the fate that Schneider went for. Chopper at the back of the site gets put down. Pronax, what is happening here? Godsent, surely you can't clutch again. It was a 4-on-2. The bomb has been planted, and now Disco Doppler goes to town and takes out Kishanda. JR's burning on upper, and the collective facepalm can almost be heard. It's audible at this point.
Wow.
As JR is going to try and retake, and, well, doesn't that give you an idea of what's about to happen?
You want to bet on the results of this game?
Yeah, let's go for Godsent.
16-8, you think?
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance here. We'll see what Vega Squadron can muster up. We do have the op in JR's hands. Well, umps in play as well. It's actually not too shabby of a buy for Vega Squadron, but yeah, when you're losing 2 clutch situations like that, where you have the man advantage, basically back-to-back as well, I mean, that just kind of ruins your day. I mean, that's kind of the tipping point, kind of the X factor that finally lets Godsent pull through. Unless they can come up huge here, they're going to get aggressive at short, but Schneider just tearing it up. He's going to press through. He's looking for more. He's got this Godoplin with him as well. Good exchange there that does give Vega a kill on the flank coming from Kashander, but somehow Lekro works him through that smoke.
Well, Vega just crumbling down. They had every chance. Keep in mind, this was 8-8 at one stage. This is now Godsent on a tear. 7 consecutive rounds, which could easily become 8. And the map victory. Schneider was great. Does finally get his man Apache. Chopper close range. Dispatches a Pronax, but takes a lot of damage in the process. Down to 19 he will be. Alongside me is UMP. Bomb planted on A. And Godsent just looking to wrap this map up. The first of potentially 3. But how many times have Godsent came back from situations that you would not expect them to win from? Vega, they have let so many opportunities go amiss. The bomb is planted for both Twist and Schneider. As a flash comes through, Chopper's going to walk straight past Twist to get punished. Tech 9 headshot in midair as Mia goes sprawling. And Godsent do draw first blood in this best of 3.
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment there for Vega Squadron in the first half where they did make a pretty decisive comeback, right? I mean, they were down 8-1, they bring it to 8-8, so I mean, good effort there in the first half to kind of start winning some big duels and be able to counter Godsent's aggression that they were having on the CT side, particularly on the A side of the map, and be able to find some success in this game. But when you flip to the second half, after they won the pistol by a great individual effort from Hutji, it was just all downhill from there, right? And included in that was, of course, losing 2 big rounds where they had man advantages. You know, losing I think it was a 1v3 to Pronax, like you noted, the 2v4 that they lost, and I think the very next round. So when that type of thing is happening, that kills your comeback when situations like that start rising up. And Pronax is a good enough leader to where he's going to punish you for making mistakes or giving his team advantages in different situations. I think maybe some people, like Pronax, has fallen from grace in their eyes or something, but I think he's still a very capable in-game leader, and he definitely worked the second half out very well.
Oh, for sure, as you saw highlighted in that 1v3 clutch that he pulled off. And there's also another 2v5 thrown in the mix. There's a couple of very sketchy situations that Vega ended up losing, but they've got to dust themselves down. You know, there's still a long way to go. They can still pull this back and qualify potentially, but it's going to be coming from behind. I'm going to cut to a quick break, guys, as map 2 is on the horizon. That is going to be Train. Stay here. I'll be right back.